Ladies and gentlemen, to perform the national anthem of the United States of America, please welcome international recording artist Pia Toscano.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And to perform God Save the Queen, please welcome multi-platinum selling mezzo-soprano Catherine Jenkins.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen, Center victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the
Up next, it's the NFL on CBS. And a reminder, today's games on CBS are being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Folks, we'll take you to the opening kickoffs of our early games coming up right after this.
The NFL on CBS and the international series from the great Olympic city of London getting set now for the New England Patriots and the St. Louis Rams. The Patriots won the toss and they have deferred, so we'll see the Rams out there first. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms back here in London at Wembley Stadium. Now listen, the Patriots have been here before just 3 years ago. The Rams haven't, and there's a big atmosphere. Will this make a difference at all, you think?
Well, I think just watching warm-ups, the Rams haven't been in these big scenarios, these big games. You said it, the Patriots used to it. The Rams were flying around here and emotional during warm-ups. I think they think it's the Super Bowl, and we'll see if it has an effect. It sure can't hurt, that's for sure.
It's been overcast all day, no surprise to that. It's in the 40s, 8 degrees Celsius, and cloudy skies and nighttime in London. They turn the clocks back a little earlier than we do back home. They made the change in time overnight, so let's see what happens here with the Patriots at 4-3. about to kick the football to the 3 and 4 Rams. And that's rookie Chris Gibbons out of Wake Forest. Gostowski sends it down to him, but not going to be returnable. Back of the end zone and a knee. And here comes Sam Bradford and St. Louis. Third-year man out of Oklahoma. Of course, the #1 overall selection of the draft back in 2010. They've had 9 different starters this year on the offensive line, and this is a big area of concern for them, including Barksdale just getting his second start, as is Shelley Smith right next to him at left guard. And then you talk about Steven Jackson, over 9,400 career yards, and a lot of reports swirling that come Tuesday deadline, there'll be a lot of teams interested in making a deal for Jackson, as we have an early jump. Walt Coleman and his crew are here in London.
Approach it, number 75, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So you're concerned all week about how the field will hold up, especially for the defensive players. You've always felt advantage offense over here. Here's the defense. Can they get that first step? They jumped early already. Wilfork up front, of course, the captain. Then you got Ninkovich, who sealed the victory against the Jets last week with his forced fumble in overtime. McCourty plays at safety, and here comes a throw by Bradford, and it's a completion to Jackson. And he's out to the 40-yard line and a first down, picks up 15.
Doesn't get much easier than that, that's for sure. What the Rams did, run everybody off. A lot of teams think this against the Patriots. Run the receivers deep, big open holes to throw the football short. Steven Jackson took advantage of it.
Isaiah Peed has come into the backfield. Now he goes into a slot over on the left side as the Rams come out and pick up a quick first down. And from the gun, pocket seal, pass across the middle, and it's a short completion to Austin Pettis. Give him 5.
Nice matchup they like. Not surprised they're coming out in a hurry up, spread the field. You got Austin Pettis against Brandon Spikes. You got to love that matchup if you're the Rams offense.
Amendola is inactive again. He had been practicing this week with that shoulder injury. Great receiver for the Rams, going to be missing another week and an extra week to heal with a bye coming up. And here on 2nd and 5, they'll run it this time with Jackson into the arms of Mayo, and he picks up 3, a 3rd and 2 coming up.
I think if you look at Steven Jackson, Jim, you said that. Trade rumors about him. Jeff Fisher said, is he being hit or tackled? He says he's being tackled. What he meant by that, if he was getting hit, he didn't have the talent anymore to avoid certain defenders. He has still got it, especially running between the tackles.
3rd and 2 from the 47. And they'll go back to Jackson, and Jackson bulls ahead for the first down right at the 50, running right behind Harvey Dahl. Picks up 3.
Well, I think this is what you'd like to do. Jeff Fisher, what did he tell us? Were you surprised when you saw Steven Jackson for the first time? He goes, yes. When I saw him in pads when we started practice, I went, that's one big man, especially at the running back position.
And that's one good football coach right there, Jeff Fisher, after 16 years in the Tennessee organization and taking a hiatus last year. He's brought an edge to this team. When you talk to the Rams players, he has really straightened things out in a hurry in St. Louis. 1st and 10. And rolling out. Bradford's going to go for the long ball. And he's got a man there with the catch at the goal line. And a touchdown. It's Chris Gibbons. A 50-yarder in a 5th consecutive week. He has a reception for at least 50.
This is what has really been hurting this New England defense. Wide receivers, watch Gibbons. Gets up the field, he's free. The double move against the safety. Wide receivers going full speed, making double moves against the safety. No matter what the team is, it's going to be a big play.
This looks exactly like the play that Seattle beat New England with a couple of weeks ago.
That's where they got the idea. There's no doubt about it. When you play that, the look that the New England Patriots had on defense, you've got to at least try to slow the wide receiver down, Jim. Nobody did. Gibbons, the speed guy, that's why he was open. And how about that throw by Sam Bradford?
Pretty impressive.
Bill Belichick said it. If they're open, he has time, he doesn't miss.
And now Zerline at point after a high snap, but the conversion is true. Tavon Wilson was the last line of defense in this case too, as it was in Seattle. Givens with the long ball, 50-yard touchdown catch. Chris Givens getting taped up the left foot, and he just hauled in the long touchdown. The rookie from Wake Forest, drafted in the 4th round. Sam Bradford's 8th touchdown throw of the season, and here we go with the kick from Zerline, not a deep one. It comes to McCourty, who had a 104-yard run back last week. Their longest since Brandon Tate ran one back in 2010, and he's out to the 23.
Well, let's take a look at this touchdown pass. Here's Givens. Watch Denard let him get off the line free. He goes down here to make the double move. Let's watch it as he takes off. Nobody touches him, but that's how they're teaching the defense, outside technique. And then look at the safety. Wilson is turned to the outside. Almost impossible to recover. Look at the anticipation of the throw. High, far, and perfect.
Only the second Rams offensive touchdown in the first quarter of this season. First snap for the Patriots is met right away. The handoff to Ridley for no gain. That was Dunbar on the tackle. Tom Brady, 4-to-1 ratio, the 12 touchdowns and the 3 picks. If he gets a 300-yard game, it'll be his 50th of his incredible career. The offensive line with Thomas starting, Mankins again inactive. He's a late scratch. And then you got Gronkowski coming off a 2-touchdown game last week against the Jets. 2nd and 10, over to Edelman. Edelman cuts back to the middle, then slips near the 30, about 2 yards shy of a first. Picks up 8. This Rams defense has not had a takeaway the last 2 weeks, but this is the strength of their defense, this front. With Quinn has 7 sacks, and Long, you saw him, he has 4. Laurinaitis, their top tackler. He and Mayo, in fact, the top 2 in the whole league. And then you got that secondary with Finnegan, the feisty one, who was so strong for Coach Fisher at Tennessee. 3rd and 2. Danny Woodhead flanking Brady out of the shotgun.
Different look here. Only 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers trying to confuse the Patriots.
Brady got time, and that pass deflected. And there is a flag. That was Fletcher on the coverage. Pass intended for Brandon Lloyd.
Pass interference, number 32. Defense. Ball replaced and thrown and foul. First down.
Jim, you said something. They have a very good defensive line, top of the screen. The right arm of Fletcher definitely turned Brandon Lloyd, so that is a good call. But they have defensive backs, these St. Louis Rams. I think they're not afraid to try to cover the New England Patriots in tight man-to-man coverage. It'll be interesting to see.
It's a 10-yard penalty and a first down at the 40. They hand it off after faking the wide receiver screen, and it's Ridley for 2.
I think you look at this Patriots offense, there's so many things to talk about. The skill of all the receivers, the system. Tom Brady keeps it together, makes the decisions and makes the throws. And Jim, you told me something. You're looking at numbers. 6 times all year long they've gone 3 and out. That is incredible in this NFL.
The fewest in the league. It almost was the 7th occasion here, but the pass interference call keeps it going here for the NFL's #1 offense and highest scoring team at 31 points a clip.
Well, a 3-man rush. They're going to try to get the extra defenders in coverage.
2nd and 8. And that's a Welker catch at the 49 for a gain of 7. 3rd and about a yard coming up. Welker had a huge game here back in 2009 against Tampa, including a touchdown.
Well, you know what I want to say to that? When does Welker not have a big game?
Well, that first week we were at Tennessee, people were saying, hey, something's different. They're not going to be using Welker as much. That's hardly the case. On pace for another 100-catch year and beyond. 3rd and a long one. Brady lofts it. He's got his man Woodhead left open. Bounced out by Craig Dahl. But the Patriots are driving on their first possession. That goes for 24.
Jim, it's a good design. Watch the top of the screen. Oh, boy, that's a block. That should have been called. Brandon Lloyd aggressively went hit the linebacker with his hands and pushed him. That's why you saw Danny Woodhead uncovered down the sideline.
New England inside the 30. And Ridley tries that right side. He squirms past a couple of hits. And he's got about 9. That was Donald Thomas over there helping out. And the second-year man loves that gainer right there for 9.
Yeah, Stephen Ridley, such a different running back this year from over what we saw last year. Boy, what a block by Gronkowski. Just drives the defensive player completely out of the screen. But we've said it many times, when you know what to do on the football field, it makes you play to the ability you have. That's what Ridley's doing.
And the Rams this time, though, come breaking across for a nice play by Robert Quinn on Ridley.
Well, the Rams, I think Jeff Fisher, talking about this game, said it right. Not worried about them having long drives. He goes, let them have the plays. As long as they're lining up that place kicker to try a field goal, he goes, I'll be happy.
They've been converting, though, on third down. They've got another third and a long yard to go from just inside the 20. Brady steps up, fires it, end zone, touchdown, Brandon Lloyd. He was the Rams' top receiver a year ago. Brandon Lloyd now taking it from 19 yards from Brady.
Well, what they do, the Patriots, look at the 3 wide receivers all together at the top of the screen, and the Rams confused on who's got who. That's why you get those formations, 3 guys together. Take off into different directions. Can the defense make the adjustment? The answer this time is no.
Lloyd's second touchdown of the season. Gostowski ties it at 7, and Tom Brady extends his streak. Now 40 consecutive games with at least 1 touchdown pass. Back here at Wembley Stadium as the Patriots take it right down and score on their first possession. Brady 4 out of 4 with the touchdown throw to Lloyd. It's 4 consecutive games now that Tom Brady has thrown a first quarter touchdown pass, which ties a career high. 4 straight games in that first quarter connecting. Wembley opened back in 1923. The first ever NFL game here was a preseason game back in '83 between Minnesota and the St. Louis Cardinals back in '83. This is Pede in trouble and tripped up. He was met at the 10-yard line by Marquise Cole and somersaults to the 12. 7-7 early action. Well, it's been quite a week here in London, and Fan Fest yesterday. Crowds estimated at some 40,000. They saw the likes of Tom Brady. The Gronk actually spiked the microphone, and then before the game here today, Train, that San Francisco-based great American band, Patrick Monahan, what a voice, singing Hey Soul Sister here to the 84,000 inside Wembley Stadium.
And you were singing right along with him. It was great to hear.
One of my favorites. Now, the Rams will have the second drive starting at the 12-yard line. They'll come out in a double tight end formation. Matthew Mulligan joins Kendricks, the tight end, and Bradford hits one of the tight ends. The aforementioned Mulligan just coming into the game has 18, and Sam Bradford's off to a hot start here.
Well, it is. The protection, what was the key we talked about when you talk about the St. Louis Rams today? Can they give Sam Bradford the time? He's an excellent thrower of the football. You give him time, I think their wide receiving core, Jim, is fast. They can take advantage underneath and deep down the field. this New England defense.
Yeah, we've already seen him strike with the 50-yarder to Chris Gibbons. Have not even seen Brandon Gibson yet. He's impressive on the other side. Out wide, but they're going to run it again. Jackson carrying a Patriot with him. He had Hightower on his back, but he picks up 7. And to get the latest news, analysis, predictions from the likes of Pat Kerwin, Pete Prisco, and other CBS Sports experts, watch Pro Football 360 live weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern or on demand at cbssports.com/Pro Football 360. As Jackson comes out, takes the helmet off, and Gibbons also was hobbling off. So Richardson's in the backfield. Impressive rookie out of Abilene Christian. The next to last player taken in this spring's draft. Here he is, Richardson. And again, he was the next to last. Mr. Irrelevant was Chandler Harvish, drafted by Indianapolis, a quarterback. And what do you see out of this kid, Richardson?
Well, I like him, and even the St. Louis Rams, the speed, he's going to be good in the passing game. And Sam Bradford says every week they're giving him a little more responsibility, so he's picking up this offense, and you need playmakers in the NFL to win games. So they think he is a playmaker.
On 1st and 10, Bradford is 4 out of 4, is going to run away from the heat. He's got a man open on the sideline, and a flag is down. It might be against the Rams. I think the receiver might have been out of bounds.
Yeah.
That was Pettis who made the catch and thought he had 17 yards.
That means he went out of bounds without being forced or illegally.
Illegal touching of a pass. Illegal touching of a pass. Number 18, the offense went out of bounds and was the first one to come in and touch. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
There was Walt Coleman looking the wrong way. Remember, everything's backward over here. But down the sideline, he's pushed out of bounds. That was legal. But Dennard, that's why it's illegal for him to come back and make the catch.
So take away the 17 yards, set him back another 5, and it's a 1st and 15.
That defense was so deep that time, all the receivers were open for Sam Bradford to throw to.
On the slant, he's got another target. That's Pettis. He's got 9, and we've got an update. Let's go across the pond to James Brown in New York.
Pittsburgh has won 4 straight against the Skins.
Yes, 4th and goal with those ugly prison uniforms. Leonard Pope, 1-yard TD reception. Tackle the field goal, 10-0 at this point.
You don't like those uniforms, Shannon?
No.
Wow. All right, Jim Nantz, Phil Simms.
That was pretty direct, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he made it pretty clear how he felt about that.
Yes or no? No.
2nd and 6. And it's Jackson back in there. But the Patriots are ready for him. As you see, Gibbons hobbling toward the locker room.
Well, that's a big deal for this defense. I mean, this offense, Jim, no doubt about it, because we heard it from the Rams. Jeff Fisher, all of them so excited about the speed they have at the wide receiver position, and it is led by Gibbons.
It's interesting, Gibbons had his foot taped right after he hauled in the touchdown. Then he came back out and seemed to re-aggravate that left foot. And he's heading in as the Rams try to extend this series with a 3rd and 5 from the 47. Blitz, pressure, and Bradford just throws it away out of the pocket. Spikes was on him.
Well, they said enough of this, giving him all day to throw. Let's do something different. And what they do, here's going to be the linebackers. They cross. It makes it tough for an offensive line that you've said, Jim. Some new starters in there.
Number 8 in the offense did not get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. Lost it down. 4th down.
They ended up throwing that flag, intentional grounding.
Well, that's a good call, too, but a good change up for the Patriots on the defensive side. Look, what they're doing with their pass defense is not working. I do like, and I think they should blitz more. Catch the offense off guard. Make them get rid of the football quicker. Give your defensive backs a better chance.
Johnny Hecker, fabulous rookie punter out of Oregon State, undrafted. Takes the snap that was a bit wide, sends it down to Edelman at the 15. Spins away from the first hit and second. And finally, the first defender came back to get him. Rodney McLeod holds it to just a 1-yard return after a 49-yard punt right on his average.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Now more than ever, Droid does. And by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Are we heading towards a recovery or a recession? Answers from a swing state, plus the NFL team owner with a unique American success story on 60 Minutes tonight only, CBS. Out of the gun on first down. Brady to Welker, wrestled down by Finnegan after a gain of 3, coming off an opening drive touchdown, the Patriots, for the second straight week. And how about Cortland Finnegan? We saw a lot of him back in his days with the Titans.
Well, Jeff Fisher brought him with him from the Titans, and you understand why. First off, he's a really good football player, but his attitude, you know, he just brings, like you, the word is always an edge. It's enthusiasm and playing hard. That's what I call it. Rams now with 4 D linemen in the game again.
2nd and 7, running left and wide open for Ridley. And Ridley's out to the 40-yard line. Brandon Lloyd, the touchdown maker, helped open up that hole left side for 20.
Yeah, he's had a couple big blocks here early in this game. That time he gets Finnegan, seals him inside. Good block on the outside. And the Rams, boy, Julian Edelman, how about that block? And then Big Nate Solder, we've talked about him many times, fast enough and athletic enough to be a tight end.
That equals the longest run of the season for Ridley, and here's Gronkowski. Gronkowski rumbling inside the 40 and down to the 35. Finally brought down by Dahl, and Jenkins another 25 for New England.
Nobody covering Gronkowski, just comes out and goes across the field. Wide open. They got a double move by Wes Welker trying to go deep. He's covered. But I'd kind of watch this guy. The little fake confused the defense long enough to let Gronkowski go uncovered.
And how about him spiking that microphone as we saw a little bit earlier at the Fan Fest yesterday? That's all they're talking about over here. As if it was a touchdown. They wanted to see it. First down, New England from the 35. Welker between 2 Ram defenders for another 8. Right between Jenkins and Finnegan.
Tom Brady, so much time, you said it, the strength of this defense, the pass rush. Welker, Tom Brady looks right. That little hole there, the gap, Brady fires it in there. And what did Tom Brady say about Wes Welker yesterday? He's just saying, he's impossible. You cannot cover him. Full speed from the time the football is snapped, makes defensive backs retreat immediately.
2nd and 1. Brady's hit on his first 7 throws.
Senses the blitz.
Down the middle, Gronkowski's open, and he makes the grab, and they rule he's down inches from the goal line. Gronkowski disappointed. He doesn't have his 6th touchdown catch of the year.
This goes right down the seam. And the number one thing the Rams talked about playing this offense, don't let the tight end go vertical. In other words, don't let him run just like that, straight down the field, uncovered.
What a tough catch. And just to confirm, he was down just shy. They're without Aaron Hernandez, by the way, today. The very talented tight end didn't even make the trip. Still nursing that high ankle sprain. Back home watching, and Gronkowski has him set up again to go in. From a foot away, 1st and goal, and Ridley is knocked back a yard.
Well, I think the Rams are finding out what a lot of people find out around the NFL. You think you got the answers, you come on the field, and they're just better than you think. Their athletic ability is what catches people off guard. I don't know why. With all their success, they tried a defense the first drive. The Patriots scored. They changed it up. Patriots marched right down the field again.
They may get one more playoff here before the end of the quarter. No, they're not. 7-7 after 1 here in London. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. Jim Nantz, Bill Sims back here in England. What do you make of the crowds here, Phil?
Oh, I think it's good, Jim. You talked about the jerseys. When you look at all the different jerseys you see in the stands, but I think they're cheering at the right time now. In other words, they really got the pace of the NFL game down, and it's been exciting so far.
Start the second quarter with the Patriots' 2nd and goal from the 2. After Brady was perfect in that first quarter, 8 of 8, all kinds of time, and knocked down. Going back to Gronkowski, it was Finnegan who got a finger on it and knocked it away. So 3rd and goal coming up.
How about the time Tom Brady gets on this throw? My gosh, he stands, he goes, let me just straighten up here and pose for a minute. But Cortland Finnegan, what a job going across the field. And you said it right, knock it down with his hands. That's tough to cover when you're this close to the end zone. Got to play run first.
Lloyd heads to the left side. 2 yards away. They run it inside, and the Rams clog it up near the goal line. That was Woodhead. And Jovan Dunbar and others deny him.
It's good penetration. That's what the defense is about. When you talk about the Rams, the defensive linemen get upfield, disrupt the blocking patterns. That's what they did. All the deception by the Patriots did not work.
And they're going to go for it. They're going to go with the big lineup. They take out the receivers. They bring in Marcus Cannon. Omanawinui is lined up as the fullback. Vereen is the tailback. And it's Vereen off the right side and in for the touchdown. Shane Vereen.
When you see Shane Vereen in the game, what it tells you, it's probably not going to be right up the middle of type of run. They take him to the outside. It's that's where you got to have the courage to call the outside off-tackle run. It's in situations like this. And Tom Brady went with the quick snap count, gave the offense the advantage.
2nd time this year Vereen scored from a yard out. And Fisher, frustrated, his team almost pulled off a great goal line stand, but on 4th down, the Patriots get it. And Gostowski has the extra point. An 83-yard drive. And New England, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns in the lead. Home of Super Bowl 47, CBS. And Phil, you said, even in our fantasy report filed earlier today, you thought it'd be a big day for the offenses. We've got 4 drives combined. 3 of them have gone for touchdowns. And we're going to have a touch back here by Isaiah Peed. You're looking at Sterling Moore, defensive back who now comes in for Kyle Arrington, who suffered a first quarter head injury and is doubtful to return today. This series begins with Richardson, the running back. Play action fake to him. And a throw to Richardson. Good for 7. Tomorrow, 2 broke girls meet Cedric the Entertainer. Catch a new episode of the hit comedy tomorrow, only CBS.
Well, Jim, we were talking about Sam Bradford a little this game, but the excitement that Jeff Fisher. When was the last time you and I saw Jeff Fisher?
His last game was at Indianapolis, Tennessee at Indianapolis.
I'll never forget his words. He said, if I get back into coaching, I'm getting back to a team that has a quarterback. Well, he picked a good one.
2nd and 3. And Richardson tries to bounce off the first hit, but unable to get away from Chandler Jones, who holds him to just a yard.
Well, one of the things this St. Louis Rams team was worried about, and you look at the New England Patriots, yeah, they struggle big time defending the pass, but they are big and strong up front, and can you handle the power? So initially they handled that surge. Now that the game is slowed down and you've showed them all your new pass plays, sooner or later you got to line up, and you got to go against guys like you're seeing in that screen. Big Vince Wilfork.
3rd and 2. Richardson goes wide right.
Roger.
Bradford's got 5 wides. Needs to get to the 30. Got his first down. He's got his tight end, Lance Kendricks. Second-year man out of Wisconsin.
They like to spread the field because when you're talking about a defense that's big, usually they're not going to be really fast. Bottom of the screen, nice job, good route, excellent throw by Sam Bradford. And New England on third down keeps 2 linebackers in there. Brian Schottenheimer knows it, so their speed against big linebackers, those are good matchups.
Coming home for Brian Schottenheimer in many ways after being a college quarterback at Florida and Kansas. Dick Vermeil gave him his first chance to coach in this league when he was 23 years old. Back in 1997, and we've got a flag here. It's going against the Rams.
Full start, number 88, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Of course, Brian Schottenheimer's had his battles against the Patriots all those years with the Jets.
Yeah, that's right. So Bill Belichick, what do you think about Brian Schottenheimer? Well, here's what we're going to see. And he went off a list about 8 things. And, of course, he's right. That's what they do for a living. But this offense, very versatile, does a lot of movement, a lot of formations, try to make you think on the defensive side.
Of course, for Sam Bradford, Brian becomes his 3rd offensive coordinator in his 3 years. 1st and 15. And that little delay move for Richardson turned what could have been a loss into a 4-yard gain. How about the different coordinators in 3 years? In many ways, it's like, you know, you're getting like a rookie, even though he's a 3rd-year man in your highly drafted quarterback.
No question. I think it is like a rookie. That's how they're viewing it. Sam Bradford, I think, says it right. We're talking to him. He just goes, boy, it'd be nice to have a little consistency. In other words, have the same system more than 1 year and keep some of these young players around so they can start building that chemistry and get better together.
Well, they do have a good young nucleus. 2nd and 11. Here's one of them. Richardson. Wolford is there at Big Vince.
Wow.
Boy, showing some speed and chasing down the rookie back.
Here he goes. Watch big number 75. Oh, that is awesome. And he is one very good athlete.
A loss of 4 thanks to the play by Wilford.
Oh, he looks trim. Metric system. 147. Oh, shoot. I got to start doing that. Made me feel better when I step on the scale.
3rd and 15. Ball is out. Was it a catch? Patriots recover. Looks like the ruling on the field was a catch. Knocked out by Marquise Cole. Knocked it out of the hands of Steve Smith.
He's in the game because of Kyle Arrington out. And Marquise Cole, we saw him week 1. I think he can really cover people down the field. There's the catch. Both feet on the ground.
And who else to fall on it here than Rob Ninkovich?
And Jim, when you look at it in slow motion, looks like maybe he had both feet on the ground. They catch and a little element of time goes by. But let's watch it full speed. Steve Smith catches it.
Did he make the football move?
They're going to check it. I think he had it long enough where it's going to be a turnover.
It's going to be reviewed. Will the takeaway hold up? It's awfully close.
Here's how you judge it. As you throw the football, Chandler Jones is going to get hit or get in there free. If it's a bang-bang play, that means it's not a catch. That's the best way to judge it. Here it is. Is it bang-bang? Catches it, boom, comes out. It's close.
The play was on a 3rd and 15 that the Patriots were in on Bradford in a hurry.
Yeah, they were. It's another little look we saw was a blitz. Mayo picked the offensive tackle, and then Chandler Jones came around untouched and Sam Bradford had to get rid of it quickly. So that's a couple little wrinkles we've seen from the Patriots, and I like it because you're talking about an offensive line that doesn't have experience together, Jim, so it's hard for them to pick up what you call the stunts and the movement by a defense.
And the longer this goes, you got to think it favors the Rams getting
no doubt
an incompletion out of it.
And, of course, it's taken long because where's the ball going to be spotted? Where was it? And the time on the clock.
After reviewing the play, the receiver did not have control of the ball throughout his possession. It is an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th and 15 at the 29-yard line. Please reset the clock to 10:08. 10:08, please.
So the Rams will be punting for the second time as the skies open up a little bit here. 46 at kickoff, temperature falling. But nothing like what the East Coast is preparing for at the moment. In fact, already getting the front lines, if you will, of that superstorm. And there's some concern whether the Patriots will even be able to get back tomorrow. They can't get out tonight because Heathrow, they will not make it by the cutoff of the last departure time allowed. So there are some contingencies that have some possibilities here. The Patriots having to stay an extra day or two in London.
I can relate to that.
Yes, you can. Uh-oh, Hecker. Side of the foot. Gets the generous rollout. Inside the 22. Will go in the books as a 50-yarder. Tuesday on CBS, meet the new sheriff who's taming Vegas. Dennis Quaid stars in TV's #1 news show, Vegas, on America's most watched network, CBS.
Well, Jeff Fisher was realistic about this, his defense going against the New England Patriots. Says we need a break. We got to tip a ball, something like that. Get an interception, because you just can't make Tom Brady make a mistake reading the coverage. They don't have to take chances because they're able to get rid of the football quickly and they spread the field.
Again, having not had a takeaway the last 2 weeks, the Rams. Brady tries to get it in there to Gronkowski, but it's knocked away. And let's send it away back to James Brown in New York.
Big Ben is a beast.
Yes, he is, JB. And in case you didn't know, he was my fantasy quarterback. His second passing TD. This one, 7 yards. Heath Miller, back of the end zone. 17-6, Steelers are on top.
He makes ugly uniforms look okay.
Look real good.
Back to Jim Nance, Phil Simms.
Yeah, they're looking real good right now. That big lead, and here we go with the Patriots. Vereen still going all the way out to the 38. Shane Vereen for 14.
Well, you see why he's in the lineup. He got hurt during the preseason. Nice block by Gronkowski again. But Bill Belichick, you know, you talk about these players. Vereen is what you call a space player. Not going to run you over, but give him a little room. He can shake it and get some extra yards.
And there's Vereen. They fake the handoff to him. Go screen. It's Gronkowski. Tight end screen to the Rams side of the field. 17 picked up there.
Now this screen game, the best in the NFL. They throw it to wide receivers, to the running backs every now and then. But how about that block? The blitzing safety. That was Craig Dahl. And then throw the outlet to him. Nice design and a perfect time to call it.
Picking up big chunks. You see that. 7 plays have gone for at least 10 yards already for New England. Not even halfway through the second quarter. And that is Vereen getting twisted down by Kendall Langford after another 6.
Man, it's fast, it's quick, and it's, what do you say about it, Jim? It's everything. Multi-dimensional. It's like you look over here, they throw it here. You think pass, they run it quick up the middle.
2nd and 4. Down the field, off the fingertips of Wes Welker.
Football slipped out of Tom Brady's hand. You showed the range, Jim. Wes Welker, look at the space. Oh my gosh, it was a blitz by the Rams. He is wide open, but it slips out of Tom Brady's hand, and that's why Wes Welker couldn't pull it down.
Well, can the Rams defense come up with a play here? Brady was 8 of 8 in the first quarter. Now hit 1 of 4 here in the second. Needs to get to the 37 for the first. There it is. Back to Gronkowski. Gronkowski takes 2 Rams to bring him down near the 10. 32 to Gronkowski this time.
Protection was good. Nice job by the quarterback. Watch Tom Brady. He's going to step up. Gronkowski to your left, going across the middle. And they got the inside route against Quentin Michael, who is playing outside technique. Said it many times. Yeah, he's big. You think, oh, can't be that fast. Wrong. You got to remember, each step he takes covers about 4 yards.
He's got 99 yards with 3 catches, going for at least 25 already. First and goal. Here comes the blitz. Toss to the end zone, and over the head of Gronkowski that time. That was Cortland Finnegan blitzing on Brady.
Well, they're emptying the bucket over there on the defensive side. They're showing him a lot of different stuff. Cortland Finnegan plays the inside receiver. Top of your screen. Here he comes. Tom Brady knew it right away and gets rid of the football before he gets sacked.
Second and goal and shotgun time.
Now he spreads the field. You have really no chance of blitzing from this formation.
Handoff, Woodhead. He gets 2.
Everybody tells us the same thing, don't they, Jim? When they come to play this offense, we're going to take away the Patriots' inside passing game. And I always believe. I think, okay, you got the answer. But who's catching the ball? Gronkowski. You see all these passes to the inside. Easy to say it, hard to do.
A Rams defense that goes from playing Aaron Rodgers 1 week to Tom Brady the next. Third and goal. End zone. Touchdown. New England, and it's Gronkowski. And there won't be a microphone this time, he's spiking.
That was, I think he was marching like a soldier.
That's exactly
there
right.
He was guarding the queen.
And they totally got it here at Wembley.
They did.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked I got it. But watch him. He's going to be double covered in the middle. He's going to go in, stop, and how about that? Brady knows it, of course, and just fires it in there. That was the one time you can say he fired it in there because that was proper.
Gronkowski over 100 yards. Now with a touchdown. Gostowski makes it 21-7. There it is. Marching on. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for the Patriots. Gronkowski 5 catches, 106 yards. Brady's thrown for 175.
Man.
2 touchdowns overall. Brady well on pace to have his 50th career 300-yard game. Isaiah P. decides this time he wants to try it. Edelman is there and stays with it to bury him inside the 10. Major style points here in London for the Gronk. A bit of a break here for the Rams. They were ready to have to take the snap from the 8-yard line, but a flag was thrown, and one of the Patriots left early. Offsides against the kicking team, so a re-kick coming up from the 30.
Yeah, what you have to do, Jim, Isaiah P., you got to judge. He's the returner, but when it's kicked really high, that's when you got to know to stay in the end zone. Because that time, Julian Edelman, he was inside the 15-yard line as Isaiah P. was trying to catch it.
So again, offsides on the Patriots. And Gostowski has it to Pete at the 6 this time. and he gets near the 30. That's a 22-yard improvement off the 5-yard penalty, if you will. So they'll go to a break here. Can the Rams reignite that offense that drove down for a touchdown to open the game? Coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report.
Well, if you're the St. Louis Rams, what you would like to do is to slow this football game down. Give your defense a break. Cool off Tom Brady. Jeff Fisher said, hey, what I want to see tomorrow is Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady talking a lot on the sidelines. Well, not getting his wish so right now, is he, Jim?
Not at all. In fact, they'd watched 21 unanswered by the Patriots after the Bradford 50-yard touchdown strike to Chris Givens on the game's opening series.
Well, you know, the big thing is it's hard to slow it down if you're the Rams. They're not going to match up against this New England defense by trying to overpower them or run it up the middle.
You know, the Patriots have put up 3 drives of over 75 yards for touchdowns in each case. Jackson returns to the backfield here. First down snap from the 29. And Steven Jackson just gets back to the line of scrimmage and into the arms of Kyle Love. 7 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Jackson, the all-time leading rusher in Rams history with 9,400 plus. But, man, has he been there for some lean years.
Yeah, he has. It's a shame. You know, the Rams in this rebuilding of the football team, most likely he's not going to get a chance to be a part of it, but he will be a valuable part. Well, hey, for the rest of the year for the Rams, and if he's somewhere else next year, as they say, he's still got plenty of yards left in those legs.
Chris Givens is back in the game, by the way. In fact, they throw it over there to him. We saw Givens limp to the locker room, but he has another catch in front of Dennard, and it goes for a gain of 9.
I think this is their best offensive formation when they come out there and they're able to have 3 wide receivers. There's 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers. And we've talked about it. Givens, he's going to get you easy throws like we just saw because you worry about his speed going deep down the field.
Smith to the right. Gibson to the left. And it's 3rd and 1. Pettis in the slot here to the left. And that's the first grab of the game by Brandon Gibson, and it goes for 8, and that was much needed to move the chains and keep that Rams defense on the sideline a little longer.
Oh, it definitely was. To the outside, that is a really good throw by Sam Bradford, and a nice catch. Looks right, make sure there's no blitz. Thing I like about Sam Bradford, every throw just looks easy to him. Doesn't take effort, doesn't need a lot of space. You don't have to give him great for protection for him to drive the football down the field.
First down, and Bradford from the pocket swings it over. Nice grab, turnaround catch. Steven Jackson.
You said that was a nice grab. Now here's what I like. Sam Bradford really gives the receivers a long time to try to get open down the field. Right before he gets hit, throws it out there. Again, spikes on the sidelines trying to cover. That's a tough spot.
Picks up 8. Bradford's first ever start was a preseason game. His rookie year against New England, it was a player injured, and Jackson was over there next to Coach Belichick and was asked, what about this kid? Is he going to be pretty good, Bradford? And he said, he is the real deal. And here is Jackson. He got the first down. Belichick recalling, though, that interesting encounter during the middle of the game as a player was down, and how Jackson had high praise for the rookie at that time from Oklahoma.
Well, I think he knew Steven Jackson had been around and could evaluate guys' talent and all the other stuff you talk about with the quarterback. So when he said that to Coach Belichick, I think he went, okay, all right, here we go. And Sam Bradford had a really good night that night against the Patriots in a preseason game, too.
Coach Belichick, who met with Steven Jackson back in 2004 before the draft, went out to Vegas to work him out. Always been impressed by him. First down and 10. Pressure, setting up screen to Jackson. And a flag is thrown across the field. It was Dante Hightower who wrestles him to the turf after a gain of 6.
Came all the way across the field, Hightower, to make that tackle.
Holding, number 66, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
They flagged Shelley Smith, who was starting at left guard for the second consecutive week. His second career start, in fact, it is. That whole left side really with inexperience. And there he was holding on to Kyle Love.
One thing I'll say about this Rams offensive line, yeah, it's definitely not the strength of their team. When you talk about two guys that are not in training camp, starting at left guard and left tackle, but when you watch them play, it is evident they play hard and they hustle. I mean, that's a big part of this game when you talk about offensive linemen.
And Scott Wells, who started the season at center, also, of course, injured early in the year. They've had 9 different starters on that offensive front. First and 20. Hightower was in on Bradford, who got it away at the last moment. Bradford is down and shaken up near the 30. That was Richardson who took the desperation throw.
Well, as we look at Sam Bradford, though, Jim, it looked like the timing was wrong. In other words, the ball was snapped before the quarterback was ready.
He's holding on to that left shoulder, and he had shoulder issues his senior year at Oklahoma. As Hightower slams him to the ground right on that left shoulder. And we'll be right back to London. We're back. Bradford on the sideline with the helmet still on. It was a little bit late here. Got a little stuck here on the center quarterback exchange.
Yeah, just through the timing of the playoff, so Hightower comes in unblocked.
Timeout called by the Rams. And that little hesitation may have also impacted the offensive line getting a little slow off the snap.
There's no doubt about it. And the Rams called the timeout, so now they can bring Sam Bradford back in the game.
Wow. Nice turn of events for Rams fans, because it was looking a little scary for a moment. They had Kellen Clemens, his backup, warming up.
Who did play with the Jets and with Brian Schottenheimer, so he knows his system very well. The fact that they bring Sam Bradford back in here and call the timeout makes you think what? Well, it's probably going to be a pass.
Well, that last play, again, was a completion to Richardson, which lost 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 22 with 2.5 to go, second quarter. They protect him this time. And he gets it back on the other side of the 50 to Kendricks, his tight end's second catch, goes for 7.
Yeah, Lance Kendricks is I call him the receiving tight end for the Rams. They move him around a lot to try to get him in positions where if he has a linebacker on him, he's definitely capable of going down the field and beating those type of players.
Let's see if they can keep Brady and company off the field and somehow convert on 3rd and long. Need to get to the 31 for the first. Timeout called by New England. Nobody knows the game like a quarterback. Don't miss Rich Gannon, Steve Berline, and special guest Gary Danielson on NFL Monday QB. Tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We were doing a fan fest here in downtown London yesterday, fielding questions from some very passionate NFL fans here from the UK. And in fact, one of the questions came up about something you had said last week on
the show,
that very show.
So that was pretty exciting, and I know all the guys that work on the shows. You look at those numbers by both quarterbacks are terrific. They're pretty excited about tomorrow because I'm not going to be there. There you go. You didn't have to agree.
And I know the Showtime guys are also hoping you might not be able to get back till late Wednesday.
Well, I feel that way on Sundays.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, Jim can't make it? No.
Third down with 2:19 to go. 3rd and 15. It's open, and it is caught by Kendricks, but they bounce him down short of the first by about 5 yards, a pickup of 10. And it'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. They'll have 4th down coming up. Of course, they got that extraordinary rookie kicker, Zerline, who knows how to make 50-yarders. Will they try that? We'll find out. Rams rookie Greg Zerline is going to try a 54-yarder. He's already made 5 field goals from 50 and beyond this year, including a 60-yarder. High snap. Busted play. And Hecker is brought down by Cole.
Well, it's a good reaction by Hecker that time. He would have never got it down in the kick. And I'm not second guessing. I didn't have time, but you heard me during the commercial. I would have gone for it on 4th down here. Of course, that's easy to say, but that's what I was thinking. And good reaction by the Rams, but the Patriots all in position in case there was a fake or, in that case, a bad snap.
Hecker, who had already this season thrown a touchdown, but that ball, he couldn't even regain it on the 2nd attempt. Slippery conditions here, and now a short field for the Patriots. It's Woodhead sprinting down to the 41-yard line. No, you had said you would have liked to have seen him go for it on 4th and 5.
Go for it, spread the field. Sam Bradford, if they blitz, he can get rid of it quickly. And if they don't blitz, the New England pass rush is not one that you have to say, well, we can't contain it in an obvious passing situation.
Brady just throws it into the ground in the area of Woodhead. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. And Coach Cowher, all the latest scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, including what's going on with the Miami Jets game. And Dolphins off to a big-time start of the first half of that one. 1:30 to go, first half here. Second and 10. And Woodhead working the middle and knocked backwards at the 35 by Dunbar.
Good decision by Tom Brady. What you want to do here, work the clock. You hope to score a touchdown, but make sure you get your football team in a field goal position. That's why the Patriots are taking their time here in this 3rd down play. Use the clock in case they try a long field goal or go for it. Cuts the time down for St. Louis.
Gronkowski not out there. Daniel Fells taking his spot on the lineup. 3rd and 4. And Deion Branch was the intended receiver, and he begs for it and then gets the flag. And that's going to be the 2nd call against Fletcher today.
Deion Branch could not get his hands up that time, so you know, or at least I think.
Number 32, defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
That's what makes you think. Bottom of the screen, number 84, going across. There's the hold. Oh, yeah, man, that was a good one.
2nd pass interference call on Fletcher, and both have come on 3rd down.
Tom Brady looking for 2 underneath receivers, both covered. Goes to the deep end cut.
From the 20 to the end zone and almost intercepted. And that was a good job of breaking up an interception by Brandon Lloyd as Fletcher had the position to maybe make the pick, and Lloyd denied it.
It was an underneath receiver. Tom Brady must not have seen the corner. Tries to go over the top. And you said it. Good job by Lloyd just breaking it up.
Gronkowski remains on the sideline. 44 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter. 2nd and 10 from the Rams 20. Caught at the 11. Ball had been tipped. And Welker has it at the 12. And timeout called by New England.
Jim, we talked about it. They want some tip passes. They get one here, but nobody in the middle of the field around to try to get the interception. That was a nice job by Wes Welker holding on after a big hit.
That pass play puts Brady over 200 yards here in the first half, and Gronkowski has come back into the huddle. Well, it'll be a 3rd and short for New England as Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator a year ago at St. Louis, now back to where it all started for him at New England.
Yeah, when you have situations like this, 3rd or 4th down, and it's less than a yard, what do you look for on defense against the Patriots? The quick snap count. Tom Brady on the quarterback sneak, or the very quick snap count where they run to pick up the first down.
There's 4 out of 5 in this game on 3rd down.
Especially when he's under the center, of course.
And if one time they failed to convert on 3rd down, they scored on 4th down. And Brady with the sneak has the new set of downs.
Well, that was a gimme. Only 3 defensive linemen. He had to know there's no pressure. It was going to be a first down.
Fakes the spike, goes to the end zone, and it almost was caught by Lloyd.
Wow.
The old Dan Marino play.
There you go.
Yeah, Dolphins against the Jets long ago.
Yeah, they don't have enough in this offense. Now they're going to deception, which was awesome. That'll keep everybody on edge. And how about Brandon Lloyd? Did he get up?
It was back in '94 when Marino was able to pull this one off.
Yeah, he threw it to Mark Ingram. You're right. That defense was not ready.
2nd and goal. 21 seconds. Tipped at the 2, denying Gronkowski of another touchdown. That was Trumaine Johnson.
Well, they talk about him too. The St. Louis Rams, they're pretty proud of the fact that they think they have good secondary players and a lot of them. And Trumaine Johnson is one of them.
Third and goal. Brady, end zone, and no flag. Yes, now it comes out. It could be Fletcher for the 3rd time. It was Deion Branch, Brady's target.
Pass interference, number 32, defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. Will replace the ball at the 1-yard line. First down.
Boy, a rough day for Fletcher, all on 3rd down occasions.
Bottom of the screen to the right, little move inside. You're right, the fans were booing here. Pretty tough call. You put your hands on, oh, there it is. There's the pull. When you grab and pull it all, those receivers, Jim, you can see the slight turn. So we didn't have a good vantage point. When you see it, it was a good call.
From the 1 with 14 seconds and 1 timeout. They run it, and they get it across with Ridley for the touchdown.
Rams play for the inside run. Ridley goes outside, and when you're running these type of plays on the goal line, when you see any space at all, you cut it up inside and you run hard. Good job by Stephen Ridley.
You know what? They've had 2 one-yard plunges for touchdowns, one by Vereen, one by Ridley, and on both occasions escorted to the end zone by Michael Ho'omanawanui.
You just wanted to say his name.
He deserved it. He cleared out a couple of people on both occasions, and Gostowski makes it 28-7. 4 drives, 4 red zone trips, and 4 touchdowns by 4 different Patriots.
Well, you're right. He did deserve a call there because that was good blocking, and we didn't get a chance to commend him the last time in that 1-yard plunge.
With 10 seconds to go in the half, and Fletcher has had a hand in a couple of these touchdown drives, actually 3 of them.
Yeah, he has. And you know, we always say this when we do games, right? It's like a lot of sports. You learn what the officials are calling for the day, and you learn quickly. Then you must adjust as a defensive back. And Fletcher has not adjusted. He keeps being physical, and they keep throwing the flag on him.
Coach Belichick going with that power formation with a fullback, and both times the Patriots able to rush it across, led by a tight end who lines up as a fullback, who was a Rams draft pick. In fact, back in 2010 in the 5th round when we talk about Ho'o Manawanui. 10 seconds to go.
Uh-oh, Manawanui. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I've been waiting all season for you.
For me to finally...
You keep talking about him as him. He does this, he does
did
that. You've never said his name until now. And that's Dahl. And Matthew Slater, whose legendary father, Hall of Famer Jackie Slater, the former Ram, has been here as an NFL ambassador all week. And his mother, Annie. His dad, Jackie, again, part of the coin toss here today. Matthew, a Pro Bowler, is a special teamer for New England. And they take a knee. The other ambassadors this week: Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk, as well as Fred Taylor. Spent the week here spreading the word of the NFL and representing the league quite well. 28-7 at halftime. Patriots were never stopped. Coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. You're watching the NFL on CBS. My partner here, Phil Simms, he said it was going to be a big day for the offenses because it's so tough for the defensive fronts to really put any pressure on the quarterbacks. Field conditions at all. We have not seen a whole lot of the pressure from the very vaunted Rams defensive front.
There's no doubt about it. First off, the field's held up pretty well when you watch the receivers running down the field, but you got to give the New England offensive line a lot of credit. Robert Quinn, Chris Long, we haven't even mentioned their names because pass protection, once again, for Tom Brady is absolutely outstanding.
Those two tackles, Nate Solder and Sebastian Vollmer, doing outstanding work in protecting their quarterback. There they are.
You know, it's an offense. Yeah, they get rid of the football quickly, but they're not big and, oh, let's help the tackles out. You're going to stand on your own out there.
And it'll be a touchback. McCourty will take the touchback. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns. And every time they got it down there in the red zone, of course, they converted. This comes after 2 weeks ago on that loss at Seattle where their last 5 red zone drives, they failed to produce a touchdown. Since then, since being at Seattle, they're now, including today, 6 for 6 touchdowns once they got inside the 20.
Well, we heard them complaining about it 2 weeks ago, or last week, I should say. Got to be happy with it. Everything really on the offensive side was crisp, sharp. Tom Brady made one decision that wasn't perfect. But otherwise, this offense is awesome.
It's raining a little harder as they come back and complete the pass to Ho'o Manawanui. And he's got his second catch of the season and his biggest gainer. It goes for 18.
Well, they come out in a running formation. That's what you think. And here comes the blitz. Uh-oh, Manawanui looking for the football quickly. Tom Brady knows he's in trouble, gets rid of the ball, get a nice first down.
Again, coming into the league as a 5th-round draft pick of the Rams back in 10. Ridley has one man in front of him. It's Dahl, who was able to shut him off and push him out of bounds at the 32. Craig Dahl was the last line of defense. 30 yards, longest run of the season for Ridley.
Yeah, it's Gronkowski at the point of attack. Daniel Fells, how about a job by him? 2 tight ends. Daniel Fells from Denver is an excellent blocker. He's on the outside. Boom, contact. Hard to get off of him. Can't get away. Aggressive defense. Nobody there to make the tackle.
Just like that, New England already to the St. Louis 32. It's Ridley again. And give him a couple as he tried to take it up the gut.
Now, you know, I know this defense last week, they saw Aaron Rodgers, but that was really about Aaron Rodgers just throwing the football. It was in St. Louis. He just made great throws. Today, they're seeing an offense that does everything, and it takes away your aggression. Think about who they play: Seattle, San Francisco, Arizona in their division. None of those offenses are even close to being as multiple as the New England Patriots are, so this is tough sledding for this defense, no doubt.
You saw Chris Long and Robert Quinn, those 2 defensive ends who have 11 sacks between them, but nothing to speak of today to this point. Second down throw. It's Gronkowski. And he puts up a fight for the first down and has it. And then 10 yards more to the Gronkowski total. 116 now on the game.
You said it right, though. You showed the pass rushers. Well, how can they have an effect on the game? Because look how quick Tom Brady can catch it and throw it. So when you have a good rush, you go, oh, I'm going to get there, and all of a sudden the football's gone already. Everybody running off with the receivers. Gronkowski wide open.
Back in the red zone, and Brady to Welker in stride, and Welker's got a first and goal to go at the 9. 11 more.
They fake the screen to Wes Welker. Watch him. He's going to fake it. There it is. He's trying to go to Brandon Lloyd. He's covered. Then he comes right back to the original receiver, who's Wes Welker. Watch the receiver go deep. They cover it. Tom Brady gets off of it, finds Welker, and that is easy pickings for Tom Brady right now.
Big chunks on every play. Now first and goal at the 9, and it's Lloyd, and he's got another touchdown. 2 catches, 2 scores for Brandon Lloyd.
I don't think he's ever going to catch a lot of passes, Jim, when you talk about this offense, because there's so many other weapons. Everybody's inside, crowding up. So when they're all inside, Brandon Lloyd being physical against Janoris Jenkins, pushes him outside, he comes inside, nice touchdown. So when he gets those coverages like that, Brandon Lloyd good enough to take advantage of it. Oof.
2 minutes and 36 seconds into the second half, right down the field. And now it's 35-7. Brady's 50th career game with 3 touchdown passes at least. Lloyd of London with a little insurance touchdown here to start the third quarter.
Look at him.
I saw a vacant look coming back at me here. Yeah. But he's got 2 catches, and both have gone for touchdowns. And the Patriots have the same score, which they won the last time they were here against Tampa. And it's a knee for Givens. So much history here at Wembley. Of course, the favorite sport, soccer. The 1923 FA Cup final with Bolton winning 2-0. In '66, Wembley played home to the World Cup final. England won 4-2, claiming its only World Cup victory. And then the Summer Olympics just 2 months ago, the United States women's team won the gold. Carly Lloyd's 2 goals led the USA past Japan here at the pitch, as they call it. We call it a field. Steven Jackson chased down by Cunningham. So American football being showcased here, but a little British football today. Manchester United over Chelsea. 3-2 final, full time. And of course the Rams got in on Tuesday, and they practiced for the first 3 days, about an hour outside of London at the headquarters, if you will, of the Arsenal football team. 2nd and 6. And Bradford at the last minute, he was past the line of scrimmage. Little shuffle pass to Britt Miller for 4 yards, I thought, for sure.
I think your eye is telling you the right thing. Jim Nantz, as he looks down the field, Ninkovich makes him move. As he steps up, he sees an open hole.
And as they come back to the line of scrimmage, I mean, a full 30 seconds later, a flag has just been thrown. And somebody's saying, wait a minute.
If any part of his body is at the line of scrimmage when the ball leaves his hand, it will be legal.
Seven penalties already on the Rams in that first half.
Illegal forward pass. Number 8 of the offense. He was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the pass. 5-yard penalty. Lost him down. 2nd down.
Not just past it, I think a full yard. gotten past it.
Yeah, he's past it. But, you got to remember, the rule's a little tricky, Jim. Your foot can be on the line of scrimmage, and your whole body and everything can be in front. When that football comes out of your hand, if any part of your body, your toe, whatever, is touching that line of scrimmage, that's legal.
And that's now 8 on the day for the Rams, and of course the costly ones that have gone against Bradley Fletcher, the 3 pass interference calls.
Well, what's happened, New England, their offense so dynamic, it really just takes the rhythm away from the Rams offense. They kind of had it cooking there a little bit. The first drive, the second one, they had some hope, but now they're spending long periods of time on the sideline waiting for another opportunity.
Took a little while to sort things out, but they had not changed the down to the appropriate 3rd down. 3rd and 10. Completion, but well short of the first. Kendricks. And that was Nate Ebner all over him, the rookie out of Ohio State. What an interesting story he is.
Yeah, rugby player from Ohio State. They drafted him thinking, well, we'll get us a special teamer for 1 or 2 years, turn him into a safety, aggressive, smart, really understands the offensive side of the ball, so that gives him a chance to have success on the defensive side.
Rugby player who ended up getting drafted out of Ohio State in the 6th round. Hecker. Got a flag down, and Edelman trying to return it. Unable to advance it. Flag in the middle of the field. That was Justin Cole on the hit.
That was a flag and a hat.
And a 48-yard punt.
Did somebody run down the sidelines illegally?
Well, based on where the flag was thrown, I think that has a good possibility of being the call.
Yeah, or being blocked out of bounds illegally too, Jim. That could be the call. When you're knocked out of bounds, if you come back in as quick as you can, that's not illegal.
Going to come over to Coach Belichick and explain. Coach Belichick, who in his first Super Bowl as a head coach went against the St. Louis Rams and won down in New Orleans, Super Bowl 36.
There are 2 fouls on the kicking team. Holding. That penalty will be accepted. Kicker went out of bounds on his own. That penalty will be declined. Replay, 4th down.
So that's why he's sending them back. Send them back, get the 10-yard penalty, make them punt it again, get a chance for a better return.
So Coach Belichick, with his history against the Rams, and positive history it is, with that win when they were huge underdogs, the season that Brady had come in and supplanted Drew Bledsoe, and they went on as like a 14-point underdog and won on a Vinatieri kick in the end. He had made a trip to London earlier this summer, brought his kids here, went up to St. Andrews to attend a wedding, and then he took his 3, Amanda, Stephen, and Brian, to Croatia, to where the family hails from, to try to find some long-lost relatives, and that they did. With some help, they went to Croatia, and they found the house his grandparents had lived in.
And what did you ask him? You went over there, and they found it. You said, did anybody recognize you?
He had some family members there that did not, speak English, but they were able to articulate to him, didn't you lose the Super Bowl this past season?
Isn't that unbelievable?
Coach Billisic.
Go to Croatia, that's one of the, how about the name?
Yep. Coach
Farmers
Billisic.
by trade, his ancestors.
They served them some homemade sausage and homemade wine, and it was a wonderful family trip to go back and dip into the family history.
Shoulders was showing his children, see, you could have been farmers. So they're glad they're not, of course.
Hecker kicks it again. And Edelman trying to wiggle free. But the second wave gets him, including Fletcher after the 48-yard punt. Wilfork and the Patriots on top, 35-7. Back here in London, Jim Nance, Phil Simms, 5 minutes past 1900 hours. In London, speaking of Big Ben, he will be here with the Steelers next September on the 29th of September when Pittsburgh goes against Minnesota in the 2013 season. They're going to play 2 games here next year. Jacksonville will be hosting San Francisco in the other tilt in late October. 1st and 10. And never able to get up in full steam. That's Ridley for 3.
Guess who was involved in that little shuffle? I'll give you one guess. The 2 of them, Wes Welker, Cortland Finnegan.
Doesn't surprise you, does it?
Well, no, I'm shocked it took to the 3rd quarter.
Ridley hops past the hit. Has the first down and more. And dives across the 50. He got hit by Craig Dahl and was able to explode past that for another 16.
Donald Thomas, number 64, along with the center, Wendell, get it done.
And Dahl on the hit. One Ridley ran right past was shaken up. And what happened with that little Welker Finnegan?
Well, Wes Welker coming down the field. He's blocking. Oh, it's the hands to the face.
2 were tangled up.
And, you know, you kind of get into something like that if you're Cortland Finnegan. You just wake the defense up.
John Bon Jovi in the owner's box with Robert Kraft, chairman and CEO of the New England Patriots. And Mr. Kraft speaking yesterday at the Fan Fest here, saying he believes that there will be, in the offing, there'll be an NFL team headquartered here in London.
I think you believe it for the first time after the way we walked around the city and heard from so many fans.
Yep, they're into it big time. As Brady's pass just wide of the mark of Welker, and there was pressure coming in on Tom one of the few times today.
Yeah, a little pressure that time. They were going for the score. Brandon Lloyd on a double move, but a good job by the corners, not biting, not being too aggressive. And they gave that, what happened is they finally gave the defensive front that extra beat, so they were able to pressure Tom Brady.
There's Dahl on the sideline, shaking up a play ago. As it continues to rain here. Ridley, another big alley, and Ridley's taken off inside the 20. Ridley down to the 10, keeps his balance to the 7-yard line. What a quarter by Stephen Ridley. He now has 92 yards alone in this 3rd quarter, and he's over 100.
Well, they're throwing the football going outside. There it is. You see Sebastian Vollmer with the good block, and Ridley just sees the open space, cuts it back.
Welker threw a big block, too. That's a career-long 41 yards for Ridley.
These tackles can pass block, and they can move.
Oh, and he's going to get back 3 or 4 on this occasion as Dunbar got into the backfield in a hurry and a loss of 4.
I'd say Dunbar is one guy that you've said his name a few times today. He's playing well, making some plays, making tackles.
Former New Orleans Saint, signed as a free agent in the offseason.
He's a big linebacker, too. Can stand in there and take on people in the run game and always stays in passing situations, too. So that shows you they think he's athletic enough to cover guys.
2nd and goal, 6th consecutive drive into the red zone for the Patriots. Brady to Woodhead and a good stick. That's Quentin Michael, the former Eagle. Holds him to 2.
Yeah, good recovery that time. looking to throw it into the end zone with a little move. The defense is back. Throws it short. Quentin Michael, nice recovery.
Third and goal. And the receiver slipped. Woodhead in the end zone lost his footing.
Yeah, good defense that time. What they were doing on the defensive side, he's looking maybe, well, Woodhead slips and falls. They had a double. In other words, two inside receivers. Wes Welker was covered tightly, nobody open. And the coverage against Woodhead on the left-hand side, well done by the Rams defense.
Now, the last time New England was here, Gostowski only attempted point afters, did not have a field goal try. This will be from 26 yards. The man who made the game-tying and game-winning kicks last week, and he connects from 26 out. Finally, the Patriots unable to take it in for a touchdown. They get the field goal. 8 plays that time for the Patriots, who going back to even last week now, their last 8 possessions, they've scored every time. Ridley has a 119 on the game. His 41-yarder set up the Gostowski field goal. It's Gibbons returning it just past the 20. Ebner makes another play on special teams, but it's 38-7, New England. And the London Eye on a drizzly night here in London. Bradford and the Rams, after a stellar start, nothing to speak of since. Although he's thrown only 2 incompletions the entire game. Make it 3. Pass intended for Gibbons. I mean, how often do you have a quarterback that goes to this point 15 out of 18? He's not sacked. He has not committed. The team hasn't committed a turnover, but you trail by 31.
Well, if we showed you those numbers and told you it was mid-third quarter, you go, wow, they really must be winning big.
Yeah. But New England now a 17th consecutive game with at least 350 total yards, which is now a record. They had shared it with 16 consecutive games with the old Rams' greatest show on turf. And there's another fine defensive play made by Spikes, denying Matthew Mulligan of the catch. We're talking about soccer over here at Wembley Stadium. At Chelsea and Manchester United score. There is Enos Stanley Kroenke, the owner and chairman of the St. Louis Rams, as well as the Arsenal Football Club that had a big win yesterday. Owner of the Rams, named after Enos Slaughter, Stan Musial. 3rd and 10. Bradford's last 2 passes incomplete. Now he's got a grab here, a completion, and the attempt by McNeil, the 3rd-team tight end, to stretch it out for a first, but he's a yard short.
I'm watching the sideline. Looks like the Rams, where they are in the field, 3rd and short, they're going to go. 4th and short, they're going for it. It's a good decision, too, by Jeff Fisher. Keep his team on the field, keep his defense on the sidelines. That's what he wants to do.
Kyle Love comes in the last minute to that defensive huddle, as well as Dante Hightower for New England. 4th and 1, and they go spread. With Jackson, the running back. Pass, ball, and the stretch out move will be enough for the first down. That was Austin Pettis, smartly knowing what he had to do to get the first.
Yeah, it's really close. It's a nice throw by Sam Bradford. Looking. Wilson gets there quick, but a nice job by Pettis reaching out and getting the first down.
Needed a yard, got a yard. And whistles bring this one to a stop, and they'll back up the Rams 5.
False start, number 66, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Get coverage of every NFL game with NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL. That's 635 to download NFL Mobile or go to NFL.com/mobile to learn more. Jeff Fisher telling us last year, his hiatus year, didn't watch a lot of football except for the Lions. His interest there and his former defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz, now the head coach, of course, with the Lions. Up the field, almost intercepted by Spikes. And there is a flag on the far side of the field. A pass was thrown to tight end Mike McNeil, but Spikes almost got the pick.
Holding, number 29, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Called on Sterling Moore, his secondary for the Rams.
Top of your screen, a little grab pass to 5 yards. That was a really nice job, though, by Spikes against McNeil. The double move, it turns and looks for the ball, and had the interception, just drops it.
Again, Moore in there for Arrington, who was shaken up in the first quarter. They had to put Dowling on, there's the near pick. Rossai Dowling on injured reserve this week. Gregory left back home with that hip injury. Chung left back home with the shoulder problem that's had him out for a couple of weeks. 1st and 10. And Jackson's got 3. Gerard Mayo with the tackle. Not 100% either, for that matter. Nursing an elbow issue. Suffered last week.
I did an injury report before the game today. You know, if I'd have really given the whole list of injuries by the Patriots, we'd have run out of time. But they have fought through the last couple of weeks, missing a lot of key players, and looks like they're going to get 2 victories when their team is not even close to being 100%.
And, of course, both of these teams with the return home will get their bye week coming up. That's just a short toss. Back to McNeil for 3. Want to do that report one more time? Mankins, he made the trip over here. He participated yesterday in the fan forum in Trafalgar Square, but that hip injury, they put him inactive before the game. Hernandez left back, Chung, Gregory all left at home.
Starting safeties out. Aaron Hernandez, we could even tell last week against the Jets, the high ankle sprain as the game went on. You could see the limp. He was slowing down, so now he got this week off, the bye week. It's really a 3-week break, so you would think he'd be close to 100% when that time is up.
When they come back in 2 weeks to host Buffalo, Bradford is taken down. He is sacked by Chandler Jones. The rookie from Syracuse registers his 6th sack of the year.
Really good, athletic. Of course, it's obvious passing situations, and Chandler Jones comes unblocked. The Patriots showing a few more defensive fronts, and you look at Chandler Jones, Jermaine Cunningham, and Ninkovich, we're starting to see a little more of a consistent pass rush from this New England defensive line.
Not just a sack, but one that knocked the Rams back 17 yards. That's 24 consecutive games now. Bradford has been dropped for a sack. Hecker to Hopper to Edelman with running room. And able to squirt out to the 46. Chandler Jones, he's been making plays since week 1. And a beauty this time.
His long arms came in handy.
Well, the loneliest guy in the building right now might be Zoltan Mesko. Look at the offensive possessions. Scores every time. From the 45, they fake to Vereen down the middle. Pass incomplete. That was Welker, broken up by Jenkins. Very attractive doubleheader next Saturday. The Home Depot SEC on CBS, day night doubleheader. Ole Miss at Georgia. Bulldogs coming off the big win. And in primetime, a rematch of the national title game. Crimson Tide takes on the Bayou Bengals. All starts with the college football today. 2nd and 10. And there's a Fine defensive effort made by the Rams. That time, William Hayes, who came over from Tennessee, and Jeff Fisher is certainly familiar with his work.
Yeah, he is, and we talked about it. Hard to go today when you, or to believe it when you watch the Rams defense. But this defensive line, there's a good group. They play them all. It's deep, and they got a very good starter kit to how to rebuild this team by looking at this defensive line.
3rd and 17. Gronkowski, and a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
Holding, number 77, offense. That penalty decline. 4th down.
And guess who we're going to see now, Phil?
There you go, your guy. You've been waiting on him. A good time that Michael Brockers, the D tackle from LSU, their 1st-round draft pick. Good job of putting pressure on Tom Brady.
Of course, he's been out there to hold for Stephen Gostkowski, but now to the real area of expertise for Zoltan Mesko, born in Romania, immigrated to Ohio, and then went to the University of Michigan. 143 career punts, has never had one returned for a touchdown. And he lets fly an impressive boot. Hits at the 4. Bounds into the end zone. 62 yards, but 42 net. Well, as we march on to New Orleans, February 3rd, Super Bowl 47 on our air. Well, New Orleans was the site for that matchup in Super Bowl 36. We mentioned earlier, Adam Vinatieri with the game winner from 48 yards out as time expired. Tom Brady named MVP. We're inside of 100 days to go. And since it looks like you may not be able to get back home this week, you might want to go ahead and just stick around and this week go online and make your restaurant reservations for Super Bowl week. What else are you going to do? You're going to miss at least one show.
What else am I going to do? I'm going to complain.
Oh, there's a catch by Gibson in the middle of the field. And we got another Ram down.
Good job, Sam Bradford steps up in the pocket, able to find Gibson coming in on the in cut.
It's Barry Richardson, the starting right tackle, who is now going to skip to the sideline. Chris Williams will take his place in the lineup.
I know it's probably easy to do, but the Patriots defense has been a little more aggressive as the day has gone on. Now they got the lead. I know that changes some things, but even after that first touchdown drive, they showed some blitzes that caught St. Louis by surprise. And here are these last couple of drives I've noticed playing tighter man-to-man defense.
On their defensive front, they have Ron Grace and Justin Francis in seeing action. There's a little toss ball. Rolls out of bounds. It was Richardson with the catch, driven back by Mayo and Hightower.
You know, I talk about that tight coverage, Jim, and it's got to get better for New England. It really does. But down the field that time, Sam Bradford's looking for people. Just watch the tight end, wide receiver, running back. You tell me who's open. Good coverage by everybody there. Linebackers tight. Sam Bradford able to get rid of it and maybe pick up a yard or two.
2nd and 13, minute and a half to go in the 3rd.
It's not too often you get in a game like this, you can work on stuff that can help you down the line.
Chandler Jones, I wasn't sure if he was going to stop, as he was drawn off, he says, by Barksdale.
It'll be interesting to see how they call this. I thought the left tackle was just getting in position.
Might have been Shelley Smith.
Unabated to the quarterback, number 95 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Well, he pointed in the wrong direction, but it is against New England. And that's exactly how they saw it, the way you did. Talking to Coach Fisher about, well, what do you think about taking on the Patriots in London? He says, well, they are called, this is the way he said it,
Yes.
New England. It's not exactly a home game. Second, 9, lofted and caught at the 41. Gibson has his second catch on this drive. I wasn't sure he was touched.
Yeah, it's a zone defense, and Sam Bradford really has done a good job today of just hanging in there. Boy, he allows wide receivers the extra chance to get open. You saw the big gap and the perfect throw.
Does anyone touch him? Wasn't sure.
Might not have, but you know what? When you lay on the ground that long,
Yeah, you take
the
it.
new rule is
Yep.
you're down.
3 catches now on the game for 46 yards for Gibson. And incomplete. Cole on the coverage. Pettis, the target.
I've asked a few people over the weeks, Marquise Cole. We saw him week 1 against Tennessee, Jim. I talked about him. I said, wow, a slot receiver. This guy can cover. And, you know, I haven't seen him since. He's in there today because of injury, and he's jumped out a couple times. How tight he can stay to guys moving across the field or making double moves.
Former Jet, Cole, 4th year overall in the league. Bradford now 201 yards, 21 out of 26, no picks. Trying to get Gibbons, the speedster, a little running lane, but it's only good for 4. It may run out the 3rd quarter. Maybe the Rams will hurry up to the line, needing as many plays as they can possibly run here before this game ends. They'll wait, go ahead and snap it next in the 4th.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter.
A 10-0 quarter for New England, now up 38-7. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back at Wembley Stadium and the International Series for the 6th consecutive year. New England and St. Louis, Jim Nance and Phil Simms with Lance Sparrow producing, Mike Arnold directing. Many of our CBS first-teamers here made the trip over, and help as well from our friends from Sky Sports over here. As Bradford's hit on the throw, and it's almost chased down by Alfonso Dennard. That was Ninkovich in on the quarterback.
Ninkovich spikes. Here comes the blitz. St. Louis knew it was coming. They keep 2 backs in the backfield to block them, but they get overpowered. Ninkovich, it's
got a Patriot player down at the 29-yard line. You were just talking about Marquise Cole.
Could be. Hopefully it's just a cramp. Playing more today than we've seen him in quite a while. I'll tell you too, Jim, I talked about the field when the game started today, and the field it's held up great.
Here's Cole, how he got hurt.
Well, he just kind of pulls up.
Well, the field, when we were here 3 years ago, there were a lot of divots out there.
Right.
Big pieces of the turf coming up. But it's just been, you know, bottom line slippery. And you went down and checked the shoes before the game.
Yeah. Everybody wearing long cleats, that's helped them.
Cole hops up to his feet, but we've got a break in the action. 4th and 6 coming up. Jeff Fisher is going to go for it from the Patriot side of the field.
Well, to me, this is a no-brainer. Of course, you go for it, Jim. You're not going to try a long field goal. No use punting it away. Spread the field. That's what they've done.
Rams scoring the game's opening possession and nothing since. Seconds now into the 4th, and Bradford for the 2nd time in this half is knocked down with a sack. Ninkovich might share it in the end with Jones. Loss of 7.
Yeah, it looks like it comes from this side. You'll see it. It's just the coverage down the field is good enough, and that extra bit of holding the football too much. And Williams just can't keep Ninkovich out. Here's the coverage down the field. That's Dennard. Good job. Then on the right side against Givens. Now you got Devin McCourty. There is nothing open for Sam Bradford to get rid of the football quickly.
Brady still in there as the Patriots take the snap from the 45, and Ridley is going to lose 3 this time. Chris Long with the fine tackle. Wednesday in prime time, JB, Chris Collinsworth, and Phil Simms if he makes it back from London. They'll showcase America's favorite game with their own unique style inside the NFL Wednesday on Showtime. Coming off of, well, I mean, you've been telling a lot of people about it this week, so I might as well tell it for you on this case after going 13-0 in your picks last week on Inside the NFL.
Yeah, it's not going too well this week. You know, when you're doing these promos, you don't have to have such a smile on your face for the fact that I might miss the shows. What do you got to say to that?
Looking for some big ratings. Ariel's Welker to the 48.
Oh, that would hurt my feelings if the ratings like big spike.
Sudden spike.
Wow. Well, that would be good.
I can't imagine. Remember, folks, he won't be there Wednesday night. Check it out. Wednesday in primetime on Showtime. There's Welker, 6 catches, 48 yards. And Marquise Cole is heading in.
We saw him grabbing his hamstring when he finally walked off the field.
3rd down. 3rd and 3.
Should be a blitz. It is.
Flag at the line. Catch good for the first. And Welker slips on the cut.
Yeah, he's slow getting up. Wes Welker limping.
Yes, he is.
He knew he wasn't touched.
Illegal formation. Number 76, offense. Lined up in the offensive backfield. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
He's in the slot. Going against Cortland Finnegan. Quick move.
He was nursing a sore ankle coming in.
That left ankle, you could see, caught it. It got caught underneath him.
Patriots all-time receiver comes out. Julian Edelman in. 3rd and 8. And Woodhead will get him a new set of downs. You know, there's one thing Tom Brady was talking to us about on Friday when the team arrived and we met with him, about how much he admires the way Welker and Woodhead run routes.
Yeah, they
do.
do.
Full speed right away.
Full speed. That is an excellent look at what Woodhead can do. Released down the front side, the right side of the offense, and then stops and goes across. He says Welker, Woodhead, from the snap of the ball, it's 100%. He's always saying, let's try to teach that to all of our receivers. First one open gets the football.
It's Gronkowski open this time. And the Gronk has more yardage down to the 28.
Makes sense, though, when you hear about it. You go, hey, go full speed, go 100%, look for the football quick. Because if you're not open quick, Tom Brady moves on to the next guy. 87 in your screen, just no chance. No chance. Quentin Michael off. When you play off coverage against Gronkowski, he runs up, you got no help, he goes across the field wide open.
First down from the 28, and Ridley finds a little seam and takes it for 12 more. He's piling up a big day here. Ridley's up to 128. If the play holds up, there is a flag.
You got all the signs, Jim, of a defense that is tired. Not getting off blocks, not finishing the tackles.
After play's over, personal foul, 95. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Called on William Hayes.
Take a look at the run. Little counter move. Good job by Connolly. Get up in the hole, and Donald Thomas just destroyed the man against him.
McIntosh and Connolly tangled up, but it's a 1st and goal to go. And Daniel Fells moved on that left side.
False start, number 86, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
You know, one thing they've done this year is they've settled in on Ryan Wendell at center. We had a chance to visit with him. What a great story in Ryan, how he developed to be a starter in the National Football League.
Yep, the wrestler in high school, went to college and just grew into that body. That's one big thing that helped.
Yeah, he was like 215 in high school. He played 1 year at Fresno State with Logan Mankins, becoming the full-time starter this year.
Pat Hill, the head coach at Fresno State at the time.
Brady to the end zone, and Gronkowski, another touchdown.
Well, they love him over here, too. When you get inside or around the 20-yard line, we said it in the 1st quarter. What you have to look for is vertical passing game by the tight ends. Here he goes. There he goes. Both of them, absolutely. Both receivers, Edelman and Gronkowski open. Oh, man. Describe that dance, Jim.
I'm still trying to think of the right word. I've only seen it done once before. That was by you.
Thank you.
Now that penalty pushed the Patriots to the other side of the 10. Brady had been 10 yards away from a 300-yard game. And he gets it with the touchdown throw. And it's his 50th career 300-yard game. Gronkowski, 2 big-time celebrations. Well, the rain's been falling pretty steadily throughout. And even though it's rainy conditions and a blowout,
look at the crowd.
Some 84,000, most of whom have stayed. Gibbons. Oh, that's a nifty move out to the 27. How about taking us through the Gronkowski highlight reel, including the touchdown dance?
Well, tough catch there for the touchdown. And the changing of the guard, that was just awesome. I got to admit, that was top right celebration. Did the seam pass, which they're famous for, and we'll just leave that when the action said it all.
I don't think that was any kind of tribute here to the folks.
I don't think so.
No.
But showing that he's getting healthier. He definitely looks like he's running better today than he did last week.
Richardson for 4. Both teams will go into a bye, and then after the bye, as you see, we've got Barksdale down, the starting left tackle. We've already had the right tackle, Barry Richardson.
Yeah, he's out.
Banged up in this half.
Well, I think they're pretty proud of the fact in St. Louis they've had so many injuries, so much problems, or so many problems with their offensive line. They've hung together and still given their quarterback a chance over these last few weeks to get it done.
This gets Coach Fisher's attention. Barksdale still down. We'll take a timeout with him. Actually, since it was a quick recovery to his feet, Barksdale slowly making his way to the sideline. Will stay with it.
You know, Jim, I thought it was interesting. We were talking to Jeff Fisher. You could tell he's just, of course, he's happy to be back in the game, but I think he's really enjoying the experience. He goes, changing teams, you know, a different atmosphere. They're kind of building it in St. Louis again. And young guys, he's said a lot of fun. They're very close, the team. They like to hang around and talk a lot, so that really excites him.
Waking up every day saying this is a blast.
Wow.
Coming to work, especially when he sees some young talent developing like that. Young man right there, Darrell Richardson, for 13 yards.
Interesting how he was drafted, wasn't it?
There were tornado warnings in the St. Louis area on draft day, and they really, I was talking to Les Snead, their general manager, Kevin Dimoff as well, they were trying to hurry and and make the pick before they had to clear the building, and then all of a sudden they lost power and everything. Then again, they had the next to last pick in the 7th round. They did not want him to go into the free agent market.
Because they wouldn't have got him, they thought, if it went to free agency.
Another flag thrown. So anyway, at the very last moment, they were able to make some line of communication with New York and get the pick in and take Daryl Richardson with the 252nd selection.
Encroachment, 92. Defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, it says a lot when you watch Richardson in the game. You know why it tells me he's caught their attention and all that? Because Isaiah Peed, another running back, a rookie drafted in the 2nd round, all the snaps they probably thought they were going to give to Isaiah Peed are now going to Richardson. So Rams got a couple good young running backs in their football team. You're going to see a lot of action.
We've seen Peed on kick returns today a few times. Here's Bradford, and that ball dropped across the middle by Brian Quick, who was a 2nd round pick out of Appalachian State, who they have a lot of faith is going to develop into a big-time player as well. Coming out of the bye, they will travel to San Francisco. The Rams then host the Jets, another divisional game in Arizona, and San Francisco again. 49ers, 2 of the next 4 for St. Louis.
That was the first really bad pass by Sam Bradford today, but you can see that rain is coming straight down now.
That's Richardson again. Skips outside, a nice piece of running. Finally brought down. As Kendricks helped throw the block.
Well, Lance Barrow in the truck, he's smiling. He's an Abilene Christian graduate. I think he graduated, but nice feet, and there's what you need. Running backs, it's easy to get the yards when they knock them down, but can you make people miss? We saw that Richardson can do that.
Finally brought down by Sterling Moore. It is confirmed he graduated.
He did, okay.
In his 6th year. Actually on the board of trustees at his alma mater, which is quite a distinction. From the 31, Richardson gets another handle. By the way, we got a doubleheader day coming up next Sunday on CBS, and early mini will get Denver against Cincinnati, plus other regional action. And then the whole nation gets the Super Bowl champion Giants hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. All beginning with the NFL today at 12 noon Eastern time.
I'm excited about that game next week. Steelers defense looks like it's playing better today. If we get home, we're going to do the game.
We'll get you there eventually.
Aaron Nance.
2nd and 4. Lofting the ball and intercepted by Dennard. Scrambles to his feet and is out of bounds at the 15. The pressure by Chandler Jones and rookie Justin Francis from Rutgers forced this interception. Back for the final 8:21. Got a new quarterback in for New England. Ryan Mallett, 2nd-year man from Arkansas. Perhaps we'll see his first official NFL pass. After seeing plenty of action in the preseason the last 2 years, a great day of work for Tom Brady, 23 of 35. 304 yards and 4 touchdowns. He moved past Warren Moon in the 7th all-time on the NFL pass yardage list.
Wow.
And again, got his 50th career 300-yard game.
Sharp day by him, but a really good move by the Patriots. Get Ryan Mallett into this game, a 2nd-year backup, and they're going to let him throw it. They're not just going to hand it off. Give him some experience.
The draw smothered up by the St. Louis defense, including James Laurinaitis. Ryan Mallett, they took him in the 3rd round last year. You saw him play a lot in college. What did you think?
Well, listen, they took him in the 3rd round because the NFL, all the other teams just said, well, you got to take him to Patriots, because I didn't think he'd last to the 3rd round. Very accomplished college football player. He beat out Brian Hoyer, who I thought was a tremendous backup with the Patriots. So big arm, truly 6'7". And I don't know how long Tom Brady's going to play. This guy's definitely got the talent to be a starter.
His first pass in the NFL is a completion But there is a flag that may nullify the throw. Edelman for 10.
Pass interference, number 86, offense. 10-yard penalty. Still third down.
Still looking for that elusive first NFL throw as Fells is flagged for that one.
Yeah, block the screen play. You can't block before the football is released. 86, top of your screen, goes right into the block, Janoris Jenkins, so he's making the block downfield before the pass is thrown. Even the backups run these screen plays well.
3rd and 14 from the end zone to Vereen. Shane Vereen able to keep his balance and pick up the first down. He was able to break free from Hall and pick up 17.
What a nice call that time by Josh McDaniels. Young quarterback. They blitz it. Double blitz to the right side. Here they come. They're ready for it. They got the call, and well, if the first screen doesn't work, Jim, what do you do? Throw another one.
Go back and try it again. Shane Vereen, you see the reason why Coach Belichick said he was Falk-esque. Kevin Falk, who was always so good out of the backfield in the passing game.
Of course, that's a great compliment when you say that, Kevin Falk.
All those years he played. This is his first year out of the league after being drafted in '99, Kevin Falk. Inside of 6 minutes to go. New England again will take its bye this coming week. And will come out of it with back-to-back home games, Buffalo and Indianapolis. Thanksgiving night at the Jets. On to Miami. And by the way, the Dolphins are going to be above 500 after today. And then Houston and San Francisco will come to Gillette Stadium back-to-back weeks. 2nd and 5. And Mallett's throw intended for Edelman. Yeah, a little welcome to the NFL moment there for Mallett as he hits the deck.
Well, he's got his completion. Now it's time to take that first good hit. That's a good little stunt by Laurinaitis.
I think he enjoyed the completion a whole lot more than this.
I hope so. Now he's going to get on the team plane tonight and go, yeah, I'm a little sore. It was rough out there today.
Yeah.
Well, the plane tomorrow, I should say.
Or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, whatever.
3rd and 5. And pass broken up. Janoris Jenkins was the one who knocked it away from Deion Branch.
Yeah, they're really high on him, and he is, I'll tell you this, he's not afraid. He had a rough week last week against Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson, and today he gets up there. He's not going to say, oh, catch the football and I'll tackle you. He tries to break up passes.
The rookie from North Alabama turns 24 tomorrow. Mesco. Second punt. Pettis on the return, and a flag thrown in. And another player shaken up. Matt Daniels of the Rams.
During the kick, holding, number 23, for the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
The Patriots had lost their last 3 games against NFC opponents, the Giants in the Super Bowl, Arizona and Seattle this year, but not today. Back here in London town. Now to wrap this up, Sam Bradford also appears to be finished for the day.
Yeah, that's a good move too, Jim. Taking a couple big hits in the last drive or two. That interception took a hit, so he's healthy. The bye's coming up.
And there's Kellen Clemens. Isaiah Peed, you were talking about him on their last series. Second round pick out of Cincinnati. He gets the handle right here. This is part of the reason why they had him so highly touted, as Peed runs into Dennard and his own teammate in Brian Quick, and is able to get 18 yards out of it.
Yeah, that was really a good block by the center, number 59. Turner does a good job. Shelley Smith pulls around. And Isaiah Pede shows you the foot speed that I saw many times in Big East games when he played for the Cincinnati Bearcats.
By the way, you see Barksdale right here at the bottom of the screen, shaken up on the last drive. Good to see him back in there. Spikes of the Patriots shaken up on that last play, and he's been replaced by Jeff Tarpinian at linebacker. There's Mayo getting a hold of Pede. Coming up, the Subway postgame show. JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the latest scores and highlights coming up on the Subway postgame show, including stories about Pittsburgh winning over Washington today, Atlanta decisively over the Eagles, and how about the Dolphins demolishing the Jets on New York's home turf. All that coming up, Subway postgame show. Cleveland's just gone final over San Diego today, 7-6. 2nd and 5, and here's Clemens. Rolling out, room to run. Slides right in front of Hightower near the first down, and they spot it near the mark.
Great decision. Why would you want to even give Hightower a chance? Big and fast. I think the Patriots, you talked about it, Jim, we did the opening game of the year. I don't think it's changed much. Chandler Jones, Dante Hightower, Tavon Wilson, who had some problems at safety here and there, but still 3 rookies who I think are going to be a big part of this defense.
And you've been talking about this defense needing someone to kind of be the leader, or maybe like provide the energy. And
yeah, give them some energy. And I think Chandler Jones is one of those guys, a little pizzazz, you know.
Clemens fumbled the snap and was able to get it back for no gain.
You know, give him a little mojo. I mean, I hate to say those kind of words, but that's what you want. You want somebody's got to get out there and stir it up a little instead of just playing.
Ron Brace is down on the field right now, as you see Jones on the sideline. Brace, he's been dealing with a back issue anyway this season. Been seeing a lot of players go down in the second half of this game.
Yeah, we have.
Brace, their 4th-year man out of Boston College, who they took in the 2nd round back in 2009.
Yeah, and they need him to really to be healthy and be part of what they do inside. You know, Kyle Love, Vince Wilfork, but they need backups to rotate in their big guys where they don't lose a lot when Vince Wilfork goes out. '97, here he is. I don't know, it looked like he got hit in the stomach too. With the ribs, but he looks okay as he walks off.
Got hit by Mayo as well, inadvertently by his own teammate.
Yeah.
Again, he has not been 100%. He was on that injury list all week and has been for several weeks. And the bye coming at an excellent time on both sides here today.
Well, what'd you say to Bill Belichick? You said, is the bye coming at a good time or whatever? He goes, the bye always comes at a good time. And so, in other words, you know it's where it is. You gear towards it, and mentally and physically, everybody, coaches included, you're ready for it.
2nd down and 10 after the fumbled exchange on the last play. Here's Clemens' first throw of the year, and it's a catch by Brian Quick, the rookie from Appalachian State.
Well, that's a beautiful throw by Kellen Clemens. Throws it right on the line, and Quick makes a nice adjustment for the catch.
We've reached the 2-minute warning at Wembley Stadium. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, and again, the Subway postgame show will immediately follow here on CBS. The Rams just having completed a 38-yard pass play. Kellen Clemens to Brian Quick, giving them the first down at the New England 23. Pede. Well, I like the way he runs the football. He's got a certain staying kind of ducking down low and running.
Yeah, he does.
Great quickness, yeah.
You talk about quickness, and it's like full speed right away. That's what you got to love.
Picks up 8 with that carry.
You know, this little bit of doing well in this drive, Jim, will get him carries when this break is over.
To the end zone, intercepted. It's an interception by Wilson. Tavon Wilson steps right in front and makes the end zone interception, second one of the quarter for the Patriot defense, and returns it 45 yards.
Yeah, watch Kellen Clemens, you know, bad snap, and then he gives it a little pump, and that extra pump is just enough for Wilson to read the quarterback and get in position and make the interception, and really a good move here. Just get it down, game's over. Good job by Wilson, bolster his confidence a little today.
So now Ryan Mallett can come out and run out the clock. It wasn't exactly the competitive game that the official crowd of 84,004 came to see.
Yeah, 004. But you know, they liked it because they weren't really rooting for one team. That's why most of the people stayed, Jim, even in a blowout. And now they're mad because they're taking a knee.
And I have tremendous respect for Coach Fisher. Just a remarkable career in building. You can see the makings here of something special in St. Louis, but his last 2 games against the Patriots, going back to that last encounter when he was on the Tennessee sideline up at New England, we were there for that 59-0 game. It's 104-7.
Wow. I'll tell you this, though. I really believe the Rams they're on the verge. You can see it when I watched them get ready for the game. I was impressed with a lot of parts of their football team. The quarterback on offense, they got some good wide receivers. You know, Chris Long, Laurinaitis, defensive backs.
And they got 2 first-round picks coming up each of the next 2 years. And now it's New England at 5-3 in the AFC East. I'll tell you, if you can take a bye at any point, I'd like to have it after week 8.
Sure.
You know, you get an 8-game season, a bye, and then 8 more. There's the last snap. It's in the books at 45-7. Based on their 2 performances here, the Patriots, I bet they wish they could come back next year. But it'll be Minnesota and Pittsburgh, Jacksonville against San Francisco when they put 2 games on the Wembley Stadium pitch next season. Brady over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Patriots never turned it over. Brady was never sacked. Gronkowski 8 receptions, 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. A resounding Patriot victory. 45-7.